Research has clearly shown that there is a direct link between chronic stress that you experience in a situation like narcissistic abuse and the extreme form of physical and mental illnesses you develop later. Your body keeps a score, and that score gets manifested as aggressive form of cancers, gut issues like IBS, skin issues, brain related issues, pain disorders, autoimmune disorders, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and what not. The list is never ending. But unfortunately, what they do not talk about and what's not widely known is that narcissistic abuse, the trauma that you experience in such a relationship with your partner or parent, can also lead to the development of spiritual illnesses that cannot be reversed just by changing your diet, by exercising, or by taking care of your physical body. Why? Because it's your soul that gets wounded. In today's episode, we are going to talk about 4 such illnesses, and then I'll also share with you what to do about them if you find out you have one or many of these. I am Danish, a psychologist and a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. The topic is 4 extreme form of spiritual illnesses you develop because of narcissistic abuse. Number 1, narcissistic abuse leaves you with a broken soul. By that I do not mean broken beyond repair. What I'm trying to say is you are exhausted to your core. Your soul is tired of giving and giving and giving and getting tortured. This bottomless pit, this empty shell of a person has contributed in no way. They have used you as an incubator. They have used you as a cook, as a cleaner. They have used you as a nanny. They have used you as a donkey. They have used you like anything. They have taken advantage of you in all ways possible, which means betrayal, endless betrayal, extreme form of betrayal. The most painful thing about all of this is they don't recognize their faults at all, which is further exhausting. And as a human being, you need to be recharged. Your soul needs something to rely on. You need to depend on the other person in a healthy way. That's how you keep going. We interact with each other at an energetic level because we are energetic beings, aren't we? But you have been dealing with what? A vampire. Somebody who has been penetrating your energy field, and that energy has been intrusive, quite evil, and they have been sucking it out of you like a vacuum. That's why your soul feels broken. That's why it feels there's no strength left within you. That's why you just feel tired all the time, no matter what you eat and how much you try to motivate yourself and what routine or exercise you try. Your tiredness is not limited to your physical body, my dear survivor. It goes all the way deep into your soul. That's why I call it a soul wound. If this is what you're struggling with, then the first step that you can take towards healing your soul wound is to start becoming mindful of your limitations, to have a set of non-negotiables. Like, if this is what I experience with the next person I meet, I am not going to give them any benefit of doubt, and I will just take myself out of that situation. I have no time for that bullshit. I'm not going to play those mind games. Transparency, if that is what I believe in, if honesty is what I want, that's what I'm going to show towards myself. That is how you can tend to that deep wound that needs your compassion. Number 2, bitterness and resentment. See, this goes beyond anger. Survivors of narcissistic abuse are left feeling rage, which is what sometimes shows up as a desire to take revenge on the narcissist. And that's why I say this is your sacred rage. Validate it. It's the wolf, the violated person in you, that energy, the divine energy now showing up, empowering you, motivating you to move on, telling you that wrong happened with you. You were targeted and things were done to you in the worst way imaginable. Like, evil is what you interacted with. But bitterness and resentment comes from being used. It doesn't go away. Bitterness comes from dissatisfaction. Bitterness and resentment comes from not making the narcissist face their karma instantly, watching them just move on to the next supply. Bitterness comes from years of tiredness, and sometimes it can be directed towards God or universe or the higher spirit, for you never expected this to be done to you. And that's why a lot of people ask, how could you allow that to happen to me? I trusted in you. I trusted in your capability to protect me, and this, why? Bitterness comes from years of verbal abuse directed at you. See, words have power. The things they said impacted you. At times, you were numb towards what they were saying, but still, the truth is it did impact you at a soul level. That's why it hurts. Your bitterness is not your personality. It is an alteration. It's just how agitated your soul is. It's just so done with everything. It just doesn't want to put up with anything anymore. It can't be bothered. How can you tend to such a deeply hurt soul? Well, the way you would take care of a child who is so pained that all he or she can feel is anger and is throwing a tantrum. What do? You hug him or her. You bring them closer. You make them feel comfortable, and then they melt down. That's what you want to do to yourself. Give yourself the embrace, the space you expected the narcissist to offer you. That's how your bitterness will just melt away. But the condition for that is you need to cut the toxicity off from your life. You need to go no contact with a narcissist and prove to yourself that your anger has been channeled in the right way. Number 3, desperation, dissatisfaction, because you deeply want to get out of this relationship. You expected to find a solution a long time ago when you gave them chances, when you felt pity for them, when you acted out of your guilty conscience trying to fix the situation. You thought, this time it's going to be okay. This time it's going to be okay. Oh, now it's going to be okay. But that never happened. Years flew away. Years passed, and you ended up feeling worse than ever. That is why you feel utterly dissatisfied with your life, because you are grieving the loss of all the opportunities gone away, slipped away. All the love, all the efforts, the concept that you had of your family. You thought you had your parents, but now you realize you have nobody. You're all alone in this world. Wouldn't you be dissatisfied? Dysphoria. No matter what you do, you still feel something is missing. Desperation. You desperately try to find a fix for your situation, whether that be by watching these narcissism videos or talking to other people. Still something seems to be missing, and that is the soul ache. You have a spiritual heart, and that heart wanted to explore the divineness of what we call this universe, that wanted to expand, that wanted to explore, not just get stuck with this narcissistic piece of a shit. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, you got stuck in there, but now you feel dissatisfied. You feel desperate to get out of it. People tell me, I just want it so bad, my freedom. I just wanted to leave. I want to leave it all behind and move on. I just don't want to stay here anymore. They're desperate. That's the soul aching. You can see that as a form of illness. You can have it all. I mean, your children, you can have money, all forms of stability, yet still feel desperate. That is because of all the abuse they have caused you, all the time wasted, all the love lost, and whatnot. If that is what you're struggling with, you just have to practice gratitude in small things. I know it may be difficult for you, but you have to channel that positivity, practical positivity in your life by focusing on small things that you feel grateful about. Every single day you can wake up and, as they say, be grateful for being alive, for getting to live the next day. Or be grateful that you are away from that narcissist and compare today with yesterday and see how far you have come. If you don't see the progress, then compare today with the same day last month, the same week, and see the difference. So that's how I want you to build this portfolio of positivity through nurturing a positive emotion such as gratitude. Number 4, and the last one, spiritual oppression. In a narcissistic relationship, you are oppressed. You know how. They devalue you, they gaslight you, they belittle you, they force you to abandon your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions. They force you to shut down your heart. They force you to see yourself as the main villain. They force you to take responsibility for the things you have not done. The list goes on. But what does that lead to? Soul oppression. In our culture, in Asian culture, particularly in Indian culture, it's said, restless souls do not get eternal freedom after death. They keep roaming around, they keep haunting people. Why? Because they were oppressed. Some form of injustice happened with them. Something horrible happened with them, and that's now keeping them stuck in that miserable cycle. They can't find liberation, and that's why they haunt others. They are trying to get revenge or whatever it is. The same thing is applicable here. This person, the narcissist, haunted your soul. It was a total plot of injustice. Every single thing that happened to you left you with a heavy heart, and you suffer. That's what your soul is carrying. You do the trauma healing, you do the body healing, that's fine. You can release it at that level, but what about the spiritual level? What about the soul level? Well, that's when you have to dive in deep and process that energy. If you are a spiritual person, what I recommend highly doing is connecting with the source, whether you call it God, you call it whatever, you connect with the source. And by establishing that connection, what you can simply do is you can have a visualization aid you. The visualization could be just finding out where that soul ache is, where that desperation is, where that bitterness is, where that dissatisfaction is, where that sense of being oppressed is, and just letting those burdens go. Just giving it to that source for it can take care of it, and watch how it fills your body with healing and heals your core wounds. That's a great exercise to do. But these are the four main spiritual illnesses one can develop because of narcissistic abuse. Let me know which one of these have you experienced or you struggle with in the comments below, and what you have done to heal and move on. That was it for today's episode. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.